Hey guys, I'm here, Brisbane, Australia, home of the Milton Mango. And look, there's a lot of places that do custom motorbike builds on Instagram, there's heaps, but one of my favorites is the great Ellaspede. Located here in beautiful Brisbane, Hugh is going to show me around the workshop and maybe give me a ride on all of the bikes, but that's debatable. Let's go. All right, Hugh, we covered an episode where you told us all about the history of the place.
Yeah.
We're bored of that, all right? I don't want to know how you started or out of a garage or what struggles you went through.
Okay.
I want to see some motorbikes, Hugh.
Let's
all
look
right?
at some gear. Come on in, we'll check the place out.
Yeah.
Okay, so front of house, retail space, little shop when you walk in the door, front counter.
Yeah.
Sort of finished bikes on this side, a little bit of a cleaner side over here.
Yeah, you got a CT110.
CT110, yep. So one of the owners, Steve, that's his little private joy that he's going to make some room in the garage for. So that little hog's up for grabs.
Is it hard not to collect bikes?
Yeah, it's difficult. I think everyone here owns more than one bike.
Oh, really, man? What are you riding at the moment?
My road bike is a W800 Kawasaki that I've done a bit of work.
Oh, beautiful.
And I've got a few old dirt bikes as well.
Extremely rare, the W series.
They're pretty good, yeah. They should be more popular.
Man, yeah, I reckon they're the better Bonneville.
They the bottom were pretty good.
Yeah.
Just got the English and just made it
Yeah.
oil leaks and made it go a bit better. Yes, either one of them, you've got to try and do one of those W800s if you're doing all right.
Oh man, yeah, love that. Oh, mate, now, yeah, you got all the shirts here. This is awesome. I love all your design stuff. Like, I'm gonna have to get Brett one of these shirts. He loves these black shirts. Whatever brewery you go to, he always buys a bloody black shirt, you know?
We'll get ready. Yeah, you'll look great. They're pretty hard wearing.
I think he's drinking 30 beers a day in Vietnam, so I have to get an extra large. Sweet, man.
So yeah, this is back little design office, I guess, where we sort of do a bit of the industrial design, the custom design and stuff. Andy and Leo are in here getting things done, so CADing, getting stuff ready to laser cut. Andy's going to be doing some 3D printing, some seat designs, that kind of stuff. Making prototypes for bits and pieces. That's a wheel hub there.
Whoa.
So that kind of stuff makes it easy. You don't have to fully custom fab everything.
Yeah.
And then, the ability to, I guess, wheel a bike in, do some measurements on it, and then Leo can CAD bits and pieces up, measure it, do all the trial fitting, make sure it's going to work before it goes into the workshop side. So,
oh, wow.
pretty
all
cool
right.
to be able to do that kind of design stuff in-house.
So yeah, you'll 3D print the parts, check them out, make sure they fit on everything, and then get them cast in metal.
And then, CNC machined, or even just machine them in-house, or laser cut them in-house, or send them out, depending on what it is. There's so many different techniques that these guys use. So.
Man, this is actually my dream. This is so amazing. I know it's not your dream, man. You just can't wait to knock off, huh? Yeah. But this is my dream, This is incredible. So what are we working on here, man?
So this is a Honda CBX 750. 80s model. It's got a Panigale rear end.
Yep.
An Ohlins front end of a BMW R9T. Carbon BST wheels. And then, Ohlins rear shock and it'll be custom everything else. Like a full CNC machined seat pan with the that the guys designed and then machined up, and then we just do some fab mods on to get it all to work. So pretty extensive one, this one, which is why they're spending a bunch of design time on it. So.
Man, something like this, do you guys see like a rise in these due to electric bikes and all that kind of thing? Because these things, they had a certain feel, like a certain sound, like an old V8 or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like a different type of power. Like not as responsive as a speed bike you have today, but who cares?
That's right.
When it's got this kind of weird hum.
We do a lot of custom stuff on new bikes, but there's definitely something like this where you can't replace the sound or the feel or the riding feel of a CB750 engine. So that's why the bones of this is still that old original engine, and then everything else is going to be made to look pretty flash on top. So.
God, that is truly amazing, man. Beautiful. Of course, you got the bare essentials here.
Yeah.
Just in case there's a... Because with all of these old bikes, man, you probably get one wheel nut or something that just does not come off.
Yeah,
or
that's where you go to the top shelf. And you start with balsamic vinegar and then you get into the good stuff.
So this is the workshop.
This is the dirty side, yeah, this is where all the good stuff happens. So yeah, bikes in the build, everything from just a minor set of indicators, something like that, to a full ground up rebuild. So assembly benches, electronics and that kind of stuff here, bits and pieces on old bikes, fabrication, subframes, little painting booths. We do some painting house, most of it will go out. Steve and John working their magic in here.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And
Good.
then a real dirty side in terms of fab area over here, so lathing, welding, drilling machine, or little drill mills, so bits and pieces in there.
Wow.
Super dirty. So it sort of goes from really dirty and it gets cleaner as it goes that way, hopefully.
Yeah. And no calendars, which is...
no calendars.
No
you can
calendars.
check out the bathroom, there might be a picture of something. It's probably just one of us idiots. So.
Yeah. Oh man, and I see that you guys do take a shining to the Beamer, or is that because a lot of people see the work you've done on Beamers and bring them to you?
Exactly right,
Yeah.
So as soon as you do one, it's like you can tell people you can do it, but as soon as you do one, then you're like, oh, you can do it, so then they bring it in. So we do have a few Beamers here at the moment, but it's literally, we sort of rely on what people are going to bring into us. We do pick and choose a little bit on terms of what we'll work with.
Yeah.
But we've done a few Beamers now, so we get pretty good at it.
What bike would you usually kind of not reject, but what would just like too complicated or too boring or?
I think it's a general consensus.
Sorry, I don't want to paint you.
A general consensus that we probably don't want to work on CX500s. Sorry to any CX500 owners there. just a real bastard to work on. You've got to do a lot of work to get them really looking nice and going nice. So,
yeah, right. Okay.
We probably might have some just their arm, but generally they're a big ordeal. So apologies to anyone. That's one. I'm sure there's plenty of nice ones getting around that you can get built somewhere.
Yeah, I noticed you guys like the DRZ as well.
It's popular. DR650 is popular, great bike as well. So yeah, the Suzuki's are popular around here with a lot of the staff. A lot of the other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Kawasaki man myself.
He likes the quacker. Oh, yep. R1150, huh?
R1150, so originally telelever front end, but you can see now we've made a new basically front subframe, I guess, for it. So conventional fork now, getting rid of that ugly telelever system, making it a bit more straightforward, and then custom rear end as well. So not the usual choice, the 1150, but it will be a pretty cool result and quite different as far as those bikes go once that one's done.
Yeah, all of this stuff, it was all this kind of ugly 90s stuff, like this shaft driven.
The big shafties.
Yeah, the big shafties and stuff. I kind of used to hate it, but now I'm liking it because it kind of looks vintage now.
It's definitely, it's aging probably better than it was at the beginning. With BMWs, I think, as with a lot of bikes, there's a lot of good stuff about them, but you just got to get rid of the quirky shit stuff. And then there's some really good, iconic looking boxer motors and, those iconic little drive shafts. And they usually have pretty cool old sort of wheel designs. So you unearth all that stuff and you can build pretty cool custom bikes. So.
I must admit, I was pretty surprised that, like something like a CX500 would be hard to work on or something like that, or hard to make look good. But then I thought a Beamer would be a whole lot more complicated than a Japanese bike, a whole lot more frustrating, or is that?
Yeah, definitely, that is probably true with the Beamers, but for some reason CX500 just don't have a good reputation.
I guess you reach for that whiskey cabinet a lot.
CX500 rolls in, top shelf pretty quick.
Great, man.
Yeah, so BMW R65, one that we just finished on, so more of like a resto mod, I guess you call that one. As you can see, it's not ridiculously customised, just cleaning up, tightening up a stock package essentially. Trying to keep it like a pretty good, reliable rider. Everything's been rebuilt, engine, gearbox, all that kind of stuff, and then just tightening up all of the stock components to just make that sort of real classic look, but still leaving all the iconic stuff with the beams, like that old bread box sort of tank. and then the airheads with the carbs hanging out the sides.
Far out, man. That is an absolutely beautiful bike. I'm not a big fan of the Cafe Racer. I love something like this, where the handlebars, you still got that upright, kind of almost scrambler feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What would you say? Is this a Brat or a scrambler, would you say?
It's definitely, I would say this is probably a bit of a combination between a Brat and a scrambler, and that is definitely what we're seeing in the last few years. I'd say 5 years ago, people specifically wanted to stay within a genre. If they wanted a Cafe Racer, it did all the Cafe Racer things. If they wanted a scrambler, it had exactly that. Whereas now, this kind of all-rounder, comfortable ride, upright positions, sort of street scrambler, Brat type thing is probably what we get asked for the most. It's a lot more comfortable to ride than a Cafe Racer, so you know, people are finding that this kind of ride style and this kind of look, you know, is a lot more user-friendly. So this is sort of what's been really popular, I think, in the last 5 years, and I think it's for good reason. It's a lot more universal, especially if you've only got one bike in the garage. You can do a lot more on that. You can do longer rides, and if you get a cafe, they're sort of literally from cafe to cafe, and then you get pretty uncomfortable. So this kind of stuff is cool. You can do some longer trips to the coast and all that kind of stuff. So.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah, I think it's like so nice to see what you guys do. What I love about seeing your bikes when a new one pops up on Instagram or whatever, I get so excited because you put a lot of creativity into it, but you still don't overdo it. It's nice and simple,
yeah,
you know.
I appreciate that.
Do you guys have rules that you abide by? Like, hey, we're not gonna do that. You know what I mean?
There's definitely a few rules in there. I think people, but generally we find now, because we've been doing it a while, people come to us because they like our style. The aesthetic is not ridiculous. It's, you know, like this, try and keep it pretty clean but kind of tasteful. So generally if people come to Ellaspede because they want this type of build, there's lots of other cool shops that are doing like really wild stuff, and if they want that sort of build, they'll go there, which is awesome. Or if someone comes here and they want that build and we say, look, it's not really our bag, we can try and refer them to one of the other local custom shops or somewhere in the state if they're in the States. So it's cool that there are those options in Australia now. I think that's really cool.
Oh man, that's great. That's such a beautiful machine. A real dream to have one of these would be. Awesome. Yeah, that's rolling. So. Whoa. Man, that feels beautiful.
You look like an Australian Fonzie.
Hey. You know, hey. Oh man, yeah, this is the real dream. It's just so nice and simple, and it feels so light. I thought it would be so heavy.
Yeah, the good thing with them, the engine's all, the weight's down low with those big heads hanging out. Once you cover lots of fat off, they're not too bad, those things. My heart skipped about 10 beats then, just putting it down. I'm like, did I put the stand down? Yeah, man. It's such a beautiful machine. Whoa. Yeah, and all the details. You guys really, you have details, but then you just got like perfect basic stuff like that. Like, it looks like it's from a BMX or something, you know? Yeah, try and keep it super clean with the details, with the bars and switches and that kind of stuff if we can. So, if the budget allows as well.
That's awesome. All right, man. All right, mate. What the hell do we have here?
So this is a little Honda Ruckus, or Zoomer as they're called as well. So it starts out as a little 50cc fat tired scooter, and then this one's been cut, stretched, pretty much everything replaced, modified, 171cc engine, so it's probably good for 100 kilometers an hour now, and this is what you end up with.
Holy moly, man.
Yeah.
So you were telling me to buy one of these new is like, what, $8,000 or something?
So they import it from Japan. You get one for about $3.5, $4,000.
Oh, yep.
Stock one, and then to get it to this point, you're probably spending about $25,000 on parts and labour and shipping.
Whoa.
So a lot changed, and you really got to want one to sort of spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
But they're pretty iconic looking, super popular in the US and Japan. Sort of starting to catch on here now. They're so different than anything else we see. So.
What is it like? Because you said you chopped this.
Yeah.
Do you like bribe someone at the RTA to get this to get these approved? Like.
So they go through engineering. So there are some bits and pieces that we have to do. You can see This one over here has got a really fat rear wheel on it. This one's got a skinny rear wheel on the moment to make sure it's all engineered. And then if he wants to, for shows and that kind of thing, he can put something like this on there, nice and fat, nice big lips hanging outside to get that sort of look that they like to go for with those types of things. So.
Oh, mate. Wow.
Probably more your size, or?
Yeah, man. Oh my God. This would actually, look, when you first showed me this, I detested it. It went against every fiber of my being. I'm like, I hate this. But now sitting on it, I'm like, oh, this would be kind of cool to ride to work. You know what I mean? It'd be cool to ride down for a coffee on a Sunday or something. It's really, really cool. I'm going to Japan, so you'll have to tell me some good custom moto places to go or something like that.
We'll give you the hot tips in Japan. You'll see plenty of these things cruising around.
Ah, great. Man, that's great. Yeah, perfect. Oh, yeah.
So a few bikes in here that were, like this one, starting on soon, the very first Ellaspede build actually, this one.
Whoa.
So 12 years ago, that's number one, an old CB350.
Oh, wow.
So it's the first bike Ellaspede built.
God.
That's into that one.
That's awesome, man. So, I know we discussed this before, but how did you get into this? Like, did you start off as a motorbike mechanic or designer? Yeah.
No, my background's in web and online.
Yeah.
I was just always into bikes, so I was doing web stuff and was interested in bikes after hours. And then, Stephen Leo kicked Ellaspede off many years ago, and I knocked on the door and said, "Oh, you should get me on board," and kept pestering about it, and then got stuck here. And 10 years later, still kicking on.
Man, that's great. That's really cool. Because I think, I want to, one day I do want to, just work in a shop for a bit or whatever, to get my skills up and, I don't know, just to get fast at pulling a nut off or whatever, or changing a tyre, doing that terrible stuff no one wants to do.
Yes, yeah.
So you builds your skills. But then the other cool thing about motorbikes, especially these ones, is although they are fucking complicated, they're also quite simple. It's not like you have to put a car up on a hoist.
Yeah.
And
you don't need all that junk that goes with it. I mean, a really great way to learn is to, always we would say to people, if you want to buy an old bike, buy a new bike first and have a nice bike that you can ride and you can enjoy yourself and all that kind of stuff. And then, old project bikes are good for just learning everything. You can pull them apart. They're usually not too, not too intense. There's not too much going on. If it's air cooled, even better.
Yeah.
And you can learn so much, especially if you get a model that's not super obscure. Get something kind of mainstream that's older, then you can hit YouTube. There's lots of forums, there's Facebook groups. That is a great way to learn.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So everyone should definitely have a project bike on the go, because if you want to learn stuff, there's nothing better than getting hands on.
Sweet. Man, that's beautiful. All right, brother. Now let's get down to business. I said at the start of the video, you're going to give me a ride, so let's throw me.
Definitely not. Oh, don't even put your leg over it. No helmet, no ride, no.
What? So,
that's a customer's bike. There's no way you getting a look in on that rig.
Oh, this place is shit.